Hello, fellow crafters and lovers of fussing with paper. It's Miss Darling in the studio. And today I'm very pleased to announce to you a brand new product that I have invented. And I hope you like it. And I'm really not sure what I'm going to call it. Maybe you could give me some suggestions in the comment section. Right now, I'm referring to it as 7 journals in a box. It's just, I know, it's not a great title, but it is descriptive because there are 7 journals in a custom designed box, and they all go together. Everything is coordinated to go together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them made. I made them myself. No assistance from anyone. They're just all custom made. And so I'm going to move them off and show you them one by one. And I will be making them available in my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is called Miss Darling Arts. And up until now, the only thing that has been for sale there has been DigiKits, but now I will have a actual product. So 7 journals in a box. Let me first kind of show you the journals. There's 7 of them. Each has its own custom designed cover, and each has custom designed lined paper on the inside or coffee dyed paper. The coffee dyed paper is unlined in all of them, but the decorated paper is lined. Let me give you an example. Here is this cover. There's the front cover and the back, and you open it up and there is colorful lined paper on the interior. I don't know about you, but when I write, I tend to kind of go off at an angle, and it makes me furious afterwards. And so I need lines, and so that's why I put lines in here. And so you see the paper of that particular one. And of course they can be inserted in any order that you want. So you start with one, fill it out, and when you're done with that, start on the next one. So in this particular box, there's this one, which has this paper on the inside. That's the front cover, and that's the back. Then we have this, and that's the paper on the inside of that. And this is coffee dyed paper, and so you can see it's not lined. And then another journal with lined paper. Another one with coffee dyed paper. There's no more than 2 in each of the boxes that has coffee dyed paper. The rest of the journals all have custom designed lined paper. So that's the front, and this is the back. So that's in box number 1, or I guess I should maybe pick an alphabet. So we'll say this is A, and here is this could be the front cover or the back cover, and this could be the front cover or the back cover. You know, your choice. I have edged all of the boxes with either vintage paper or fabric. Many of the boxes that I will show you have custom dyed fabric on them, and some of them don't. So I have edged them with the fabric, especially at the top, to help protect, because that's where there will be wear and tear. So anyway, the box holds 7 journals. These are 8.5 by 5.5, and they just slip in there very nicely. Now obviously, if one were to put ephemera on the journals and they thicken up, one might not be able to get it inside the box. But as long as the journals are used strictly for journaling and not for additional ephemera, then they go in there snugly, but not forced into it by any stretch of the imagination. So that we will designate as box A. So when you go to Etsy, if you're interested in getting more information about them, I will have them there, and you will select by the letter that is assigned to a box if you decide you'd like to purchase one. Okay, in just random order, we're going to designate this one as box B, and this is a more vintage grungy type of look. And so let me show you the journal inside. Here's one, has the word journal on the front, and there's the back cover. And inside are lined papers coordinated with the cover. Here's another one, front and back. And this also has lined papers. The third one is more flowers and butterflies. And inside the third one is the unlined coffee dyed paper. Then we have a slightly different direction, but same color palette. This one with coordinated paper. That's the front, and that's the back. Back to flowers, front and back, and lined paper. And then the sixth one is again a grungy looking front and back, and this has coffee dyed paper. Number 7, front and back, and coordinated lined paper. And these all fit nice and snugly into this handmade box that is made especially for these journals. And this could be the front, or that could be the front. The sides are all decorated as well as the bottom, and there is either paper or fabric that is used to help protect some of the more vulnerable parts of the box. I sort of like this one, and so I put that down as my choice for the front of the box. And there we have B. Okay, now we come to number C, and this is in a vintage blue and beige palette. Our first one, we have coffee dyed paper, a Florentine pattern inside as well. Just beautiful. Another beautiful cover with more Florentine designed lined paper inside. A more dramatic one with coffee dyed paper. An Asian style front with more Florentine variety of paper. There's some floral. Then we have one that's more, in the brown tones and still a little blue influence there. And so beautiful. Oh, I guess I maybe should snip that off. I guess I'll do that right now. And lastly, number 7. This has a definite Asian vibe to it. Oop. We need to snip off here as well. Okay, so there's our 7 journals for the blue beige number C. This could be the front, and this could be the front. Just depends on what you like. And this has all been lined and edged with coffee dyed lace and coffee dyed cotton, and just beautiful. I love it. I hope nobody buys this because I'd like to keep it for myself. All right, so this is C. That makes this D. And now we're into a rust, neutral rust and blue, it looks like. Yes, maybe a little blue and a little teal. And so here is, now this was not one of my master boards, I don't think. I may have just embellished on it. Anyway, number 1 starts out this way, the front, the back, and inside Florentine design lined paper. I can see that I made these before I knew what I was actually going to do with them. Here is an abstract. Just really love that. Coffee dyed paper inside. This is another abstract, one of my master boards. There's the front and the back, and coordinated paper on the inside. These are florals. I'll go through all these and make sure before anything goes out the door that they're all snipped off properly. Here's another abstract, front, back, with interesting abstracted design inside. Another one of my abstracts with coffee dyed paper. Another abstract, front, back, some teal, and you see we've got teal and beige interior paper. That one's been snipped. And then number 7 is front and back, another abstract of mine, and just gorgeous. I just love how these all turned out. I hope you do too. And let me tell you, while I'd like to make sales, it's very hard for me to let go of things I make that I like. I'm sure maybe you can relate to that. Here's the box that I made for this, and I just love how that turned out. These are threads from some of the fabrics that I use, and This is the reverse side. This could be the front. I love that too. And so you can see how this is, and then coffee dyed cotton muslin at the top. So, you know, take your choice. That be the front. Get tired of that, you just turn it around and have a new front. So this is going to be designated number D as in dog. Have you ever known someone to be pitching a sales a sales pitch and trying to get you not to buy? I'm terrible, but I love what I make, and I'm sorry if I don't love it, then I'm ashamed of it, and I'm not going to show it, and I'm not going to try to sell it to someone else. It has to be something. If I make something and I offer it for sale, it has to be something that I really like myself. So if you have a similar taste to mine, you may love these. And if you don't, that's quite all right. You know, I'm a firm believer, don't buy anything that you don't really love. Like does not usually grow into love over time. So if you love it when you first see it, then you'll probably love it as long as you have it. So here is the opening journal in this particular box, and I should name these, you know, some exotic name. Anyway, that's the front, and here's the back, and this was from a masterboard I made, and you open it up, and we've got, you know, the same paper ghosted back into the background with lined paper. Journal 2, front cover and back cover, and the interior is very similar. Number 3 is an abstracted design of mine, front and back, and coffee dyed paper inside. Number 4, front and back from a masterboard I made, and you can see the papers in there. An abstract of mine made on a jelly plate, and there's the front and the back, and the interior has a different kind of abstract design throughout. This is another jelly plate print of mine, and the front and the back, and this has coffee dyed paper. And lastly, from another masterboard of mine, the front and the back and the interior. So there you have that. Beautiful blues, purples, a little bit of blush pink in there, and here is the box that it goes in, and this could be the front, or that could be the front. I think I like this one the best, but to each his own. And there's the sides and the bottom. And so this is box E. And lastly, we have this colorful little one, and this will be F. And here you have this gorgeous front and back and interior. This is from a masterboard I made, front and back and interior. Very colorful, very boho. Front and back. Beautiful colors. Just love this. And just very rich. Front and back. And very nice. An abstract front and back. Made on the jelly plate. And a little different twist on the pages in here. Another abstract masterboard made on the jelly plate, front and back. And abstract imagery on the interior. And lastly, from a fabric I have, front and back. And you can see the interior. So there you have it. Very colorful, very fun. Actually would go very nicely in my bedroom. Let me show you the box. And this, I put some frilly lace on top. I thought this should really come across very girly. And so that would be my choice for the front. And this is the reverse. And you can see the sides. So we got a lot of pink and rust and green and blue and peach and just about everything in that one. And this is F. Yeah, so there you have my 7 journals in a box. An original product that I doubt anybody else has ever conceived. And so I'm pleased to bring it to you. And I have one other thing I will show you as well, and that is that I do have some boxes that are going to be available for sale that have no journals attached to them. So if you're just looking for one of my handmade boxes, I got you covered. I have 9 boxes, all different kinds, and so let's move them off and I'll show them to you one at a time. And this will probably be offered in a separate listing from the journal in the 7 journals in a box. So it'll be in a separate listing of just boxes alone. So here's a very feminine, very Parisian one that I made. And I used some ephemera that I have and vintage book paper, a hand-dyed piece of muslin on top, and so you can see how great, how beautiful that is. There's one of the sides and another side. Now we go more masculine, more grunge, and we have, this is number 5. Oh, I need to designate this. So F. So this is going to be G. In a separate listing. And this will be H. And so that could be your front, or that could be the front. I like them both equally. I've got vintage book paper down the side and coffee dyed fabric along the top. There's the bottom. Here's one of the sides, and there's one of the sides. So, yeah, you know, if you're decorating in darker palette, this is black and brown and tan and beige and very neutral. would blend with a lot of interiors. Now we have something much more colorful, and has one of my master boards that has been embellished, and that could be the front or that could be the front. I like them both equally. And I have custom dyed fabric all along the edges and the top and the bottom. There's one of the sides, delete where not applicable. Very appropriate for the box, I think. And this is the other side, and then the bottom. And so you can see how everything is color coordinated to just look beautiful wherever they are. And by the way, I have quite a few very old vintage books, and the older they are, the smaller they are. And so many of them fit just perfectly into the box. It will handle up to a 5.5 inch wide, and let me see. I'll have this info over at Etsy, but the interior is like a little bit more than 1.5 inch wide by a little more than 5.5 inches wide this way, and 1.5 deep. But I'll put the dimensions over in the listing for you. You don't have to remember them. This one I covered with some hand-dyed lace, and also hand-dyed fabric along the edges and the bottom, and ephemera on top. And there's vintage book page paper on the bottom, underneath. And then this side is more simply done, so you can see the vintage book paper. And I love butterflies, as you know, and so this would probably be everyone's choice for the front, but you never know, and so that's that one. So here we have some complementary colors of blue and yellow, and there's a little bit of lilac purple in there. That could be the front, or that could be the front. And edged with hand-dyed fabric. And this is from a masterboard I made, and it had text on it, so appropriately I have it named Journal on the side, and Remembering on the bottom. And so then this is the other side, and so that one turned out really nice. I like them a lot. So this is going to be K. And here we have more of a goldenrod color, a little bit of yellow, orangey, some dark purple in there. This is some of the threads off of some of the fabrics that I've been working with. And so that could be the front, or that could be the front. And again, a purple. So we got some custard color. It's lined with antique book paper, coffee dyed muslin, and there's the bottom, one of the sides, and another side. Using number, I love numbers, so you're going to see numbers and butterflies when you look at things that I make. I'm sorry about that if that's not your favorite. And this is from a masterboard I made recently, which is very, very busy and fun and antique-y. And so, that could be the front, or that could be the front. And I just had a lot of fun making this. It's edged with vintage book paper and fabric at the top. And there's one of the sides, the other side, and the bottom. So very fun. I love how that came out. Don't go buy these. Then I'll have an excuse to tell Swoop, well, they just didn't sell. That way I get to keep them. All right, 2 more. And these are very similar color palette. So this could be the front, again from one of my master boards, or this could be the front. And just beautiful, very soft, and edged with coffee dyed fabric. There's one of the sides, and the other side, and the bottom. And it's just very, very soft, and just would be beautiful anywhere it's put. LM. So that's M. And lastly we have N. This again is from one of my master boards it's all in the peach and green palette. And that could be the front, or that could be the front. Some butterflies added. Very beautiful. Vintage book paper lining the sides, and coffee dyed muslin at the top. And so there's one of the sides, and the other side, and the bottom. So very nice, very soft, very romantic, and I just love them all. What can I say? My taste is all over the place. I just love everything. So, pardon me for being giddy about what I make, but I just have so much fun, and I enjoy it. And if you do too, and you find that you just can't live without one of my creations, now you get a chance to own one. And as I said before, it's all first come, first serve. So they will be up in the Etsy shop, and feel free to go there and look them over and decide if anything is for you or not. Well, that's it for this show and tell. And I thank you for being here and for your support as always. And I enjoy every minute of what I do. I hope you do too. And if you're not crafting yet, you should be, because it is just so mind-blowing. So, I mean, there's just no end to what you can do. And I learn something every time I make something. I learn something new, and it's very relaxing. And so I recommend it. Anyway, that's enough of that. Thank you for being here and your support. And that's it for this time. This is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.